Hey everyone, it's Desiree and welcome. Today we are going to create a haunted scene. Yes, and we are going to feature the new stamp and die set and another die set from the new Gothic Halloween collection from Scrappy Tails. And we are going to do some messy watercolor background. We are just going to use the one die from the Gargoyle Tree Die Set, and that's basically the tree that we're going to use. And I'm going to stamp most of the images from the Haunted House Warming stamp set. So we've got the three ghosts, the moon, and the house. I am using Canson XL watercolor paper. So this is textured, it's cold press, so you do want to make sure that you stamp it a couple times. And I'm going to use my black VersaFine and my clear ink. So my black VersaFine for the house, and then I'm going to use my clear ink for the moon and the three ghosts, because I'm going to use my clear embossing powder for the house, and I'm going to use my Hickory Smoke Distressed Glaze for the ghosts and the moon. Yes. Today we are making a 7x7 card. You guys know me. I love my real estate. I do like larger size cards. Very much so. 5x7 and on up. It doesn't mean I don't like or enjoy a standard A2 size card. But for me, it just looks very small. Usually when I use the standard A2 size card base, I'm either doing Simplicity, my Simplicity series, where I'm just letting the pattern paper do the work, because I can get more out of that paper pad. Or I'm doing a clean and simple card, which is very rare for me. Usually and generally, my clean and simple, I'm using colored pencils. So I'm stamping a floral image and I'm using my colored pencils to color that in for that image. So while the card may look clean and simple, because it's just that image, it takes me a long time to put that card together. So either way, there's always a catch. So I stamped the haunted house, the ghosts, and the moon, and then I stamped this sentiment. And it says, if one door closes and another door opens, your house is probably haunted. I just thought that was really, really cute. Absolutely adorable. And it's actually a two-part sentiment. Even though it stamps all together, it's really cool. It's two parts. I think that's neat. Which will work for me. I have here a 6¼ by 6¼ card base, and we are just going to load this up. I'm using my Distress Oxides in Broken China, Uncharted Mariner, Villainous Potion, and Black Soot. And I am just laying down this color. I don't want or need a perfect blend. I'm not looking for that perfect blend, but I am putting this down very heavy. We will be dousing this with lots of water. I want this to drip. I want it to bloom. I want it to move. And we are just going to spray it. With the Villainous Potion, I'm just putting this along the edges and throughout the inside. Now, my thought was, okay, let's keep a white spot, to have that gleaming area. I made it too small, but that's okay. That's totally okay. We will be adding something to this once it gets to a certain point after we add the water, to give highlights in the sky. And no, it's not splatters. So this is the hot mess that it looks like. And now we are just dropping on the water with a spray bottle and pulling it up and tapping it onto my surface so that it'll drip. I want these colors to merge and mold together and mix and just swirl all around it. So you don't need to have that perfect blend when you do that. You can have them be all over the place. Doing the same thing with the sentiment. Added the same colors in a row and then just let that drip with the water. I'm pulling in Picket Fence Distress Stain Spray. I love this stuff. When it hits, and then when you add water to this, it just moves. It just does something that's amazing. Now, that looked very bright. It looked very white. It does dry back. So don't let that deceive you to say, oh, she ruined it. I didn't. It's really cool looking with what it did. I'm pulling out pumice stone, uncharted mariner, and black soot, and I'm putting them on my mat. And we're going to watercolor with our distress oxides. They're water reactive. We can do that, and it's perfect. So I'm going to be adding the gray and the black soot to the moon, letting them move, letting them dance around with water. And then I'm just adding a hint of the pumice stone to the ghosts. Because I used the hickory smoke distress glaze, it's a softer color. It's not, you can see the difference between that and the black from the house that I did. So it's just going to be a hint for them. And now I'm just going to cover the whole house with black soot and adding some of that color, adding more water. I want this to just flow around. I'm also going to add a little bit of the broken china to the house to just give this house that blue hue. Oh no, I'm sorry, the uncharted. No, I did. I used broken china. Just to give it that blue tint. And I'm covering everything. You'll see, I do want the windows to be lighter, and you're going to see just how I brighten up those windows with my brush and water while this whole house is wet. So to remove the watercolor, I'm just coming in with my clean brush and removing the watercolor in those areas. Remember, we embossed this. We did a heat embossing. So there's barriers. So I don't have to worry about that I'm taking that paint away from other areas. When I feel I'm not removing any, I go back in and add more water. And that's what's going to help remove these. Remember, distress oxides are water reactive. So even if that area was dry, I would still be able to lift this up. Now, you can also certainly come in with a paper towel over this to lighten them even more, but I didn't want to take away from the house as well. So you can see those two colors going through. You can see just how that background, it dried back. The white picked up the purples and the blues and the blacks, so it kind of mixed itself. And remember, this house is a nice size. It's going to cover a lot of it. For the sentiment with the oxides on top, when I did the ink blending, all I'm doing is taking my brush over the words and wiping it away. And it's taking away all of that oxide ink that's sitting there. I pulled in carved pumpkin. I wanted those pumpkins to stand out So just put a little bit of orange on there. Nothing too bright, nothing too stand out, because again, I just wanted it to be very soft throughout. I'm now going to die cut all my pieces. And then I do remember that I have to die cut the sentiment. So I will grab those dies as well. We will get these taped up so that they stay, and I will run them through my die cutter. I am going to go around the edge of the house with black soot. I did not want that white border. Now, that would have helped to make the house stand out even more, but I wasn't looking for the house to truly stand out. Again, creating this deep, dark, eerie scene, just looking to see what that looks like. I cut a slit in the house to make the ghost come out of the house, and then I'm also taking the one ghost and wrapping it around the point from the roof, and then the other one's going to come out from the back. Looking at, okay, can I move that moon down to see some of that bright white? Yeah, it wasn't going to work. So I die cut these trees a bunch of times. It's the same tree. And I'm just literally going to create this layer in the background. Different heights, some in front, some behind. I really liked the way this layout looked. So I'm just getting a little bit of glue underneath the base for those trees so that they don't move. I like how they're intertwining with the moon, so I'm going to real quick just get some glue down on that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the top. Again, very quick. I like the fact that some of the branches are curling up. They don't have to be flat. It will go in and out of my envelope just fine. It won't get caught coming out. But once this card is done, the recipient will be able to put it up on a mantle and use it also as a home decor piece as well. So creating scenes on your card fronts, and again, because I do use a larger base than normal, they can also be that decorated piece. So I did use some double-sided foam squares to prop up the house, and now I'm just going to trim around the edge of this panel to keep everything inside of that area. And you can just see how that sky just comes through. So while you're looking at it saying, yeah, that's a hot mess, that just is not, it just accents the back. So it's like there's that moon is shining through the sky as the clouds are coming by. I know, it's not for everybody, but I love the effect. I always do. It looks great when you do greens as well to get this green glow that comes out. I do lean towards, when it comes to this type of a scene, and it's definitely going to be that sky, I do lean towards the blues and the purples and the blacks. But greens and black, oh, they look great as well. A lime green and a darker green. Now we're just having fun with our layers. I put this onto a purple piece of purple cardstock, and then a iridescent mirror cardstock with waves, and then a piece of black to cover the entire front of the card base, because then that ivory won't show. So when it sits, it looks like it's a framed scene that would sit on the mantle. The two sentiments are going to go on the inside, and then I can write my message inside as well. I know someone will ask, why didn't you cut the center out of your mirror cardstock? It's precious cardstock, it's specialty, and it is. It very much is for me. But with all of these mats that I add, my piece would actually concave into that opening because that iridescent, that mirror cardstock is thick. And I just like to have a completely flat surface. If you like to cut out your center, perfect. Wonderful. Again, it's your choice, and it's our choice on how we create. But I always do get that comment when somebody sees that. I do hope that you'll subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and ring the bell so that you know when the next video is ready for you to watch. The products that I used will just be listed down below, but I will have a link to Sabrina's shop if you wanted to check these out as well. Enjoy the process, guys. Just have fun with what you're creating, and as always, know that it's art. It is truly art that you are putting together. All right, so enjoy your day. But always remember what's most important. Be creative every day in everything that you do, and continue to stay safe and healthy. And I will talk to you in the next video. Till then, take care.